When I was in high school, I was obviously into the arts, and I was always a cheerleader, and all my friends were sports people. They all played basketball and field hockey. And I always got good naturedly made fun of by them for dancing and not being into sports. So the one incident in high school that really sticks out in my mind was my senior year in high school. So one day, my senior year in high school at lunch, my friends were good naturedly making fun of me like they normally did, but it just kept going and went really far, and I got very angry, and I was feeling very kind of attacked by everybody. And I ended up leaving the lunchroom and going to the guidance office, which I had never been in before because I was a good student, and my guidance counselor actually didn't even know who I was. So I would just like for all of our students here at 24/7 who are feeling different or picked on to know that you can always come to me or any of the 24/7 staff, and we can remind you of your worth. We see it every day in class, and I would love to help pick you up how I would have liked to have been supported in high school.
My story is in college. I studied musical theater, and I had a dance teacher that came into our program my junior year of college and basically decided that I was a waste of his time. He not only didn't give me any feedback, but he also started telling other professors and the administration that I was not allowed in his classes. I multiple times went to talk to him to wonder what I had done to offend him. And what he told me point blank was that there was no point in putting any work or effort into me because he didn't think I was talented and I was just going to graduate and get married and have babies and not perform. So he didn't want to waste his time. And that pretty much made me feel like I was completely wasting my entire college experience. Here I was in my junior year, a year away from graduating, and apparently I'd wasted my time. So I went home and I cried for weeks thinking, what am I going to do? Clearly I can't do this profession. And I was sitting in an honors literary class, and we were talking about Eleanor Roosevelt, and our teacher was discussing the quote, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." And as corny as it is, it really rung true to me, and I got mad. And I was like, why am I letting this guy dictate what I'm good enough or not good enough to do? And I got really angry. So I started just going to class, and knowing that he wasn't going to give me feedback, I gave 100% in every single class for myself, for my own personal growth. I wasn't dancing for him. I wasn't performing for him. I was performing for myself. And turns out I ended up being the first person to book professional work out of my class and the only one to consistently work since graduation. And it has been 3.5 years since then. I no longer go back to my university. I just do me, and it's the best thing that I ever could have done. So as long as you are doing things for yourself, then no one can really stop you and tell you no.
There's a middle school that I have been doing guest choreography for 16 years. And a few years ago, there was a boy who has a visible physical and mental disability. And I knew from the other teachers that he was continuously bullied in his school. He was also in the choral department, which is who I choreographed for, and he had a beautiful singing voice. And even though in his regular school day he was bullied by other kids, when he came to chorus and sang, the kids in that class praised him and always clapped for him and always showed him love and support. And so even though in his day-to-day activities he was bullied, when he came to this class, he was happy and he was joyful, and that excited him. And he wrote me a letter afterwards thanking him for always giving him support, and that is the class and those are the moments that helped him get through middle school and to feel accepted and loved and he now continues singing and performing as a high schooler and plans on doing so after high school as well.
Bullying is a very difficult thing to talk about. In our society, bullying is almost taboo. It's something people don't discuss, they ignore, they pretend it doesn't happen. And for people who aren't bullied, that's an easy thing to do. But for those who have been bullied, that's nearly impossible. They say get over it. They're just doing it because they're jealous or they have things going on in their own lives. But that doesn't make the person being bullied feel any better. It's like that saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That's not true. Words hurt, sometimes worse. I was bullied in elementary, middle, and even high school, and even in my career. And I have to say, my emotional scars run much deeper. And it's something that I deal with sometimes even on a daily basis. Growing up, your friends are your most important thing in your life, whether it's at school or even at dance. And one of the hardest things is when you're bullied and it's from a friend, someone you trusted, someone who you even considered almost a member of your family, your dance family. And when they start to bully you, you feel like an outsider in your own home. I think one of the hardest things about being bullied, especially as I was a little older, in high school, in dance class, was when the bullying would happen, no one did anything about it. They ignored it, and I felt isolated and alone. Ignoring bullying doesn't make it go away. If anything, it encourages it. There's a famous quote from Frederick Douglass saying, "To expose it is to kill it." The only way to stop bullying is to expose it. If you see it happening, tell a trusted adult. If it's happening to you or to a friend, make sure it becomes known to someone who can help you, because it's not going to go away on its own.
When I was in a group, I was in a very small group, and people would exclude me from it. They would all go out and do things, and then they would Snapchat me. And this was before there was the story, so they had to select my name and to send me their pictures and videos of all the good times they were having and what fun they were having, and would also talk about it in front of me when I was there, about all these times and these plans they had. And honestly, it made me feel kind of alone. I always felt left out, and I felt like a nobody, and it's not okay. Cyberbullying is an issue, and unfortunately social media is going to do that. But you need to really be careful of who you associate yourself with, and make sure that you let them know it bothers you and that they need to stop. Always stand up to bullying if you see it, if you're experiencing it yourself. Don't be afraid to stand up.
Hi, my name is Ricky Huff. I'm a director here at 24/7 in Frederick, Maryland. I also run the hip-hop company here at the studio. I just want to talk to you about a time that I got bullied. In fact, there wasn't a specific time I can remember, but it's just throughout my whole life growing up as a dancer. People would always pick on me because it wasn't football or soccer or a sport. It was something more creative, artistic, and people didn't really understand that at a young age. And so there was a point where it got so bad in high school that I just really wanted to quit and give up dance altogether. My dance teacher and my mom and some of my close friends kind of pushed me not to, and I'm glad they did, because now through dance I'm able to make a living off of it. I'm able to get into the industry in a way where I'm meeting all these wonderful people. I'm able to work with my close friends on projects that I love to do. I'm enjoying my life. I never really feel like I actually have to work, and if I quit dance I wouldn't really know what I'm doing right now. I wouldn't know what I would want to do. It's really all I've ever known, all I ever want to do. So I'm glad I kept pushing through it. So to any man out there, a little boy that's getting bullied, just understand that it's going to happen because people don't understand. But as you grow older, I promise it gets better if you stick through it and find people that can appreciate you for what you do. So don't give up and keep on going. I know it's hard, I know it seems impossible to do, but just focus on what you love to do, and that's all that's going to matter.
When I was, actually it started when I was about 2 years old, and I met someone who I thought was going to be a lifelong friend. I started going to school with them, thought we were friends. You know, there was ways that they treated me that I didn't realize weren't kind. And throughout elementary school, I started getting, why are you wearing that? That group congregated and made kind of a mean girl group, if you will, and said that that boy doesn't like me, he's never gonna like you, you know, why are you even trying? All these other things continued throughout middle school when we started getting cell phones. And so with the cell phone, it allows for so much more drama and just hurtful things that can come out through texting rather than just like face to face even. And she would consistently send me mean messages about, you know, nobody likes you, calling me really unkind words, saying that, you know, basically, you know, like, why are you even trying? What are you doing? And when I was younger, I had to go through anxiety treatment a lot because of it. If somebody has to go through therapy for someone acting unkind towards them, it's just really wrong. So what I'm saying here is that if you have somebody in your life that is just consistently bringing you down in any way at all, and even if they're your best friend or someone you want to hang out with and someone you want to be friends with, it's not going to work. It's not healthy, and you need to be around kind people and people who are there for you, and you need to be kind to each other because you don't realize how badly you're affecting somebody's day when, you know, you say these things, no matter what it is, really. It can really, really affect somebody more than you would ever know.
When I was in 9th grade, I was the new girl in school. My parents, we moved like a ways away, so I was the new girl. So I came from a school where I was kind of popular and, you know, had lots of friends, to a school where I literally knew no one and was definitely awkward. I'll never forget, in English class, this girl, and it didn't matter where I sat, she would sit behind me. And she would pull my hair and put spitballs in my hair and little pieces of paper. And I mean, literally, I would get up and there would just be all kinds of paper dropping from my hair and stuff clipped to the back of my shirt. And she'd put signs on me and all kinds of stuff. So one day I came in and it just made me feel terrible. It made me feel like no one liked me and just sad. And I didn't want to go to that class. And one day I went in and she put gum in my hair. In 9th grade, you would think we would get past that at 9th grade, but we hadn't. And so she put gum in my hair, and I'd had it because I'd said stuff to her before, and the teacher had heard me say stuff. And the teacher never did anything. So finally that day that she put gum in my hair, I had it, and I got up and I stood up and I turned around and I said some pretty sassy things to her, and I basically called her out in front of the entire class. And that was it. She stopped. She stopped following me around and all of those things and stopped bullying me. For me, that day was a turning point because at that point I decided that it didn't matter what anybody else thought of me. It mattered that I thought better of myself than to continue taking that kind of stuff from people. And after I stood up for myself, I think in life I have carried that with me and said, you know what, I'm better than that. Nobody can treat me that way, and that's a boundary that I've set for myself. Yeah, so I feel better about that.
Science says that you are born with your eyes, as an infant, the same size that they're going to be through your entire life. That being the case, I, who now have such gorgeous big blue eyes as an adult, was teased relentlessly as a child for the size of my eyes. If you can think of something that had big eyes, then I was probably called it most of the time I was in elementary and middle school. It started in high school with me too, and then it finally dawned on me and clicked that if I let that bother me, that I was giving those people that were calling me the names the power to make me feel bad. And nobody has the right to have that power over somebody else. So I took ownership of me and my eyes, and now my eyes are my best asset.
I never experienced bullying in my childhood, but I have unfortunately experienced bullying in my adulthood. I know what it feels like to walk into a room and have every person turn their back and start whispering. And it is a horrible feeling. Fortunately, as an adult, I know how to deal with it, but as a child, I cannot imagine where those emotions go. What happens to that child? Don't put anyone in that situation.
Hi there. I am Miss Randy, and I teach gymnastics, and I wanted to let you know how I was bullied as a child. Most of you know, because I get around to doing my roots at some point in time, but I grew up with a white streak of hair that ran right down the side of my head. I got beat up for it. I got pushed around for it. I had no friends for it. I was called a boy for it. People were just really mean. But you know what? I said thank you, and I walked away from it, and I became a much stronger person because of it. I love me. I'm the best me that I can be, and I did not allow anybody pushing me around or bullying me to ruin that spirit. And I think I've done really well. So remember, people do things and people say things for whatever reasons that are going on within them. But you know, as long as you're being the best person that you can be, stand up to it. Fight for yourself. Feel good about yourself, because you are you and you have you for the rest of your life to love.
So my bully story is basically about a time when I wanted to really get serious about my career. I was a little bit more heavy set when I was a little younger, and at the time, the mediocre or the right frame was to be a size 100 or 98 pounds. And I came up in the city. I'm from the DMV. I'm from DC. And a lot of the girls at the time, they all had curves, but they were smaller. And the group that I used to dance for, the company that I used to dance for, they all were smaller than me. And in the time when I was dancing, I didn't feel that I was small enough. So what would happen is the girls would be wearing size small or like small medium, and I was like medium large. And one girl came up to me and said, "Don't you need to lose weight? Or maybe you need to go on a diet." And in that time, when I was dancing in the company, I used to feel really self-conscious, which made me want to change and in other rooms, didn't make me want to basically be a part of the dressing period with the girls. I would dress before I have to go on, or right before, or earlier before everybody comes in. And what it did was made me feel very self-conscious, which also made me go into a deep depression when I wasn't eating. I was taking diet pills and not eating at school, which made me lose a lot of weight in about 2 weeks. So I went from a size 8, 9 to about a size 3. And it wasn't healthy for me, because all I could think in my head was I was big, I was fat, I was this and that. And I did not understand how much good I was. I wasn't confident in myself. And because of that bullying, it made me all the way up into my 20s have that thought in the back of my head, if I was good, if I was acceptable in my talent. And I think that what I should have done at that time was have more time to myself and take time to really write those things out instead of holding my emotions in, and talk about it. And I know as artists and as dancers, we all hold everything in. We're not good at talking it out. We're not good at really expressing ourselves vocally. We always do something through our movement and dance, and that's our safe haven. But I wish at that time when I was a kid, and if I could tell myself as a kid then, what I know now is that I'm okay, and I am talented, and I am worth something, and I shouldn't compare myself to someone else. And people don't understand that what you say does carry on for either the rest of your life or until you get a healing. So it is real. Bullying is real. I don't condone it, but those words do hurt. It's not say something and it doesn't break your back. It does break your back. And at the time when I was really growing in my career, it really did hurt me. And I'm good now, but it took me all the way to my early 20s for me to understand that I am worth something. I am talented. I am good. And my body doesn't define my talent. So that's my story.
Hi, this is Miss Gina, and I wanted to talk to you today about bullying. Bullying is a problem everywhere. And unfortunately, bullying can also be a problem at 24/7. It's not okay. It's never okay. If somebody is bullying you, I want to know about it. You will not get in trouble, but I can't help unless I know what's going on. So please, don't let this happen. Stand up for yourself. I've always been a person that has always stood up for myself, and I never had a problem with bullying. So it's really hard for me to understand why anybody would let somebody make them feel less of a person. It's really hard for me to comprehend that. Although I do know it happens all the time. And I'll share a story. One of my kids that you all know, Mr. Riley, who teaches here at the studio. When he was younger, he was a part of Dance Fusion. I mean, you guys didn't know that, but he was a part of Dance Fusion. He took dance, and in middle school, he got bullied a lot by the kids that were on the football team because he was a dancer. He really enjoyed it, but they made his life miserable. They teased him, they said things to him, they physically, poked at him. So he ended up actually quitting dance for about 2 or 3 years. And he ended up joining the football team, thinking that, if he was doing what they were doing, they would accept him. And it didn't get any better. They still didn't accept him. Even though he was doing what they were doing, they just were mean kids, and they were always going to be mean kids. So he ended up not playing football anymore after the first year. And he found his way back to dance. And with a strong emphasis on tap. And if you've seen him, you have seen that he is a phenomenal tap dancer. And if he would have never come back to dance, that would have been a real shame. So I'm glad that he was brave enough to make himself happy and not worry about what other people were saying in school, because it doesn't really matter in the long run. It's what makes you happy. So do what makes you happy, and don't let anybody else make you feel bad. And if they're making you feel bad, I need to know about it, because they need to have a discussion. Because I don't want anybody here at 24/7 that's a bully. So come and talk to me. Thanks.
Love is everlasting, love is only kind, love is always patient, love will blow your mind.
Hi guys, my name is Free Boogie, and I'm here with YPAD, Big Brothers in Dance.
Hey, what's up guys? My name is Jake Langreed, and I am a Monsters alumni 2 years ago, 2014. I am also a dancer for Justin Bieber.
Yo, what's good? This is Fee, Jabberwocky's crew.
Hey guys, Kevin Maher here. Just wanted to talk to you about bullying.
Just want to give a shout out to everybody that's being bullied. If you've ever been bullied, don't let those dudes sweat you. Keep doing what you do. Don't let people tell you what you can and cannot do.
I just want to say to keep your head up, guys. Don't give up on your dream. Never let anyone tell you you can't do or be anything you want to be.
We can take music or feelings or emotions and just put it not into words, but we put it in a movement, and that's something that not a lot of people can do. So if you're a male dancer and you can do that, be very proud of it.
Everyone may love sports or love books, and some of you guys out there may just love art, and some people don't understand that, so it turns into bullying.
Because one day you're gonna grow up and you're gonna be glad that you kept on doing what you do. Whether it's dancing, whether it's drawing a circle on a piece of paper, keep doing it, man. Don't let people clown you.
You are special. We are all special. God made us special. We are all different. Dance was not the cool thing to do when I grew up. It was definitely the effeminate thing, but I pushed through, and I'm glad I did. I've been able to accomplish, meet, choreograph, work with, touch the lives of so many wonderful, beautiful people. Keep your head up, guys. Stay strong.
Because life is really too short to think about what other people think.
If you're a young male dancer out there and you are getting bullied, try your best to ignore them. Stay doing what you love, stay confident, and it's all going to work out.
Keep doing you. Do you.
Keep your head up, guys. Thank you for listening.